Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 268.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
All right. Glad that you have decided to download us one more time. And if this is your first time, go check out episode number 1 because you're probably going to learn a few things as well there about who we are, why we're here, more importantly, how we can help you become a bigger, better, badder real estate investor, more importantly, real estate entrepreneur, able to go out there to provide clean, safe, affordable housing to many different people. Here's what we're going to be doing today. A couple of weeks ago, I did a live broadcast. So many of you have been catching up with us on Facebook Live and or Periscope, and you got to witness 2 things you can do to end your dread of Mondays. Now, I know some of you may have had a case of the Mondays. You may have Mondays today, and you may feel that every time you have to realize you get up and go to work, typically doing things you may not want to. So I've got a prescription for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this live broadcast so that you can, follow the prescription. That's really what I want you to do. More importantly than that, if you want to begin to catch us on some of these live broadcasts, by all means, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cashflow Diary or at Cashflow Diary on Periscope. That way you can catch us live, ask some questions. We can have some interaction, some back and forth. I would enjoy talking to you. So I'm not going to delay it any longer. Here we go. Hello, people. Glad that you are making it here. Jay here. I just got back in town. I've been out of town for a little minute, and glad that you guys are here tuning in. Obviously, you could tell by the title, we're going to talk about something that I think is important anyway, when it comes to making sure that you can constantly produce results. And that's actually what I'm getting ready to do. You know, sometimes when you go out, thank you, Mavi. Glad that you're here. If you're joining us for the first time, do me a favor. Let me know where you're from. And if this is your first time here, or just actually let us all know where you're from. And if this is your first time here, just type the word cash flow there, and we'll be getting started here in just a second. If this is your first time here, let me know where you're chiming in from. That would be great. I'd love to know that. And my name is Jay, for those of you who don't know. For those of you watching on the replay, glad that you are also here, because I think what I'm going to share with you is going to help you. I see some Phoenix and some Nashville, excellent San Francisco Bay Area. Glad that you guys are all here. Many different time zones represented, so this is good. And as I was saying, Jay, owner, CEO, Cashflow Diary, we invest our time at training and helping people become real estate entrepreneurs. I myself have been in the real estate game for a little while now, and have a few hundred units across the United States. And like I said, invest our time into helping other people do that same thing. Bobby from Atlanta, welcome. Glad that you are here. Feel free. While I'm thinking about it, if you are watching, go ahead on Periscope and give me some hearts. And if you want to, I appreciate it if you would share, because I know that the information I'm going to share with you today has been very, very helpful for myself, and continually so. One second, having the screen just did something really interesting over here on Periscope. All right. Thank you for those of you who are sharing. I totally appreciate that. So give me 1 second. There we go. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today, or what I wanted to share with everyone today, is that sometimes when you, like right now, there are times where we dread what we might have to do the next day, right? If you've ever experienced that, do me a favor, give me some hearts on the screen. Give me a absolutely over there, type it in, because there have been times where you're thinking, oh man, tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow is this day. I've got to go in to work and do this, that, or the other. And what I want to do is I want to give you a formula that I've been using for quite some time that I believe will not only set you free from whatever it is that you're currently doing. And for most of you, for most of us, if we're not doing something that we absolutely love, I honestly believe that we're just wasting our time. And I want to end that. No more wasting time, right? So that let's get rid of the wasting of time. If you agree with me on that, give me some hands up in the air, like you just don't care. Anyway, and what I want to do is I want to give you a process that you can go through, that you can take yourself through, like I said, right now. And that I like to take myself through sometimes multiple times during the day, if necessary, to reset and make sure that whatever it is that I need to accomplish can indeed be accomplished. But most importantly, that I'm in the correct mental mindset. Excellent. Thank you for those hands. I appreciate it. So I just want to make sure that you guys have that same ability. And Anthony Robbins calls them state changers. And it's very important to understand how to manipulate your state and your emotions. You cannot, I repeat, cannot rely on your emotions if you're actually going to achieve building your business, making that income. And as I said in the title, finally writing that offer. There are going to be days where you don't feel like it. And Monday just happens to be a popular day for most people where they're like, man, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do whatever it is that I'm doing right now. And what it comes down to is we must have a way of doing that. So what I'm going to share with you is something that helps me, and I know it'll help me tomorrow. It helps me today, because if you've ever been out of town and then you come back in, you're like, there's this whole like re-entry feeling that you might have to go through in order to finally get things kicked in. It's like Monday's not very productive, but Tuesday, boy, watch out, I'm finally going to be ready. Well, I'm going to show you how to recapture not only Mondays, but lunch hours, 15 minutes, all of these types of things. And when you take yourself through this, it's really, really simple. One of the most important things to remember. So when we're talking about the two things that you can do, one of the most important things to remember is, again, as I stated, is your emotional state. By managing and learning to properly manage that emotional state, you will be able to achieve more. Now, as a real estate entrepreneur, one of the challenges that I have seen with a number of the individuals that we've worked with is they don't necessarily feel confident enough to finally write the offer, regardless of the dollar amount. If let's just say that there's a property out there and I said, hey, go write the offer for $100,000. Some would write it. Others would go, well, where's that money going to come from? I can't write the offer. Others, if I said, hey, write the offer for a $2 million property, in their head, that's like, that number is too big. Their self-concept won't allow them to do that very thing. And that's not what we want. We want to build those things. Write this down. You will never out-earn your personal growth. I'll say it again. You will never out-earn your personal growth. So what I'm going to do as I'm going to share with you a way to consistently maintain your own personal performance so that you have the ability to be, as they say today, on fleek, right? So that you can be right there, ready to go to make it happen every day. So for me, there, like I said, there are two things that I do, one in the morning and one in the evening, or towards the evening near the end of the day. What it comes down to is that I like to ask myself questions. Now, those of you familiar with the 5-minute journal, this is going to sound very, very familiar. Now, whether you follow the 5-minute journal format or you just get in the habit of doing these things, that's what's going to make the difference. The number one reason, and I'm not kidding, the number one reason why most individuals never feel successful is because they make it too difficult for them to succeed. That is the number one reason. We make it too difficult for us to succeed. For example, we say things to ourselves like, I will be a successful real estate entrepreneur once I write 5 offers, once I get a building done, once I raise $1 million, once I retire from real estate. Well, all of those things, it's not that they're not possible. It's just that they could be further away from your current reality based upon your current situation. Therefore, what does that mean for that day? What does that mean for tomorrow? What does that mean for today? The opposite is what it means. It means if this is your definition, I am successful. I will allow myself to feel the feelings of success when I have achieved this thing that could be way out. That could be a challenge for you. And you go around not feeling successful, not writing the offers, not making incremental steps and progress towards the actual goal that you want, because it's a process. It's not an event. You are participating in a process of growing yourself and becoming, maturing and changing and becoming a completely different human being than you will ever recognize. So I like to ask myself questions. That's one of the reasons I enjoy that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the idea of the 5-minute journal, because it's the same 5 questions every day. But what's more important is that you have a understanding of why it's not so much, the magic isn't so much in the question, although the wording is there, and I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. The magic is in the fact that you are making concrete decisions every day in such a way that it helps you and propels you towards the success that you're after. Now, what does that mean? That means most of us don't really think. We think, but we don't really think. And that's the problem. You want to go out there and write an offer. You want to own a multifamily building, a cell phone tower, commercial real estate. I'm with you. Please do. We need more people who are doing these things. However, you must become better. Your mindset and focus must absolutely be there. So here's my point. You think you're thinking. In fact, one of the best times to take control of your thinking, right, to take captive the correct thoughts and make them obedient. This is a skill set you must learn and eventually master and continually work with, okay, is that you must learn to train your mind to think a certain way. What do I mean by that? That means one of the first questions I like asking myself, and I want you guys to answer and begin to answer, is what are you grateful for? I love to fill this in, come up with 3 to 5 things every day in the morning. One of the best times to do it, you wake up, I am grateful for. That is question number 1. Here's the cool thing. By forcing yourself to answer that question, guess what you're not thinking about? You're not thinking about yesterday's failure. You're not thinking about yesterday's mistake. You're not thinking about all the difficult conversation you might have to have later that day. You're not thinking about things that typically are counterproductive to what it is that you want to do. That's my point. Hopefully this is beginning to make more sense, and you're beginning to see why I want you guys to keep hitting that share button and keep giving those hearts. I definitely appreciate it, because I want everybody to know this. This is how you're going to set yourself onto the correct path to free yourself from whatever job that you are currently in that you want to get over to. All right. So you've got to begin to think about, what are you grateful for? Now, let's be clear. Don't make this difficult either. It's easy to be grateful for me as an asthmatic. I am grateful for being able to breathe. That's it. Because that is some days, that's, some of you, that might be a given. You're like, hey, I breathe every day. Why is that something to be grateful for? Trust me, if you've ever had to struggle to breathe, there are days where I'm just like, hey, I'm grateful for breathing. Make it simple, because that allows you to feel those feelings of gratitude. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's when you begin to build what is known as success momentum. You make it really, really easy. So again, first question, I am grateful for 3 to 5 things. Now, for those of you that are watching, do me a favor, type really fast. I'm just curious, what are some of the things that you have personally been grateful for ever? Just some of the things ever. Some of the things that you have personally been grateful for. It could be the sun. It could be my spouse. It could be all kinds of things. Family, absolutely. What are some other ideas? Because I know some people are like wondering, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm grateful for anything. Relationships, absolutely. Those totally help. Love, absolutely. Another day. Well said, sir. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We don't have to make this difficult. My son, someone said me. Wow, that's encouraging. My kids, even better. See, all of those things. Someone said cash flow diary. I appreciate that. My family, life, these things are important. Here's the thing. When you are thinking about the things that you are grateful for, it's really difficult, as I said, to have a negative mental state. So first thing in the morning, what you're going to begin to do is three to five things I am grateful for. I am grateful for. What are the 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for? Now, this next one I definitely like because of the phrasing. Because one of the most powerful things, like I said, is the questions that we ask ourselves. But more importantly, it's how the question can sometimes be worded that changes it. It removes certain things from the realm of possibility. So what does that mean? Number 2, you're going to ask yourself, what will I do to make today great? What will I do to make today great? I love this question. Why? And again, this is going to be 3 things. 3 things you will do to make today great. What will I do to make today great? 1, it's giving the power to you. You're not hoping for something magical to happen outside of you in order for you to have a great day. You have the control by defining what I'm going to do. If I do these 3 things, I give myself permission to feel the feelings that today is a great day. So again, you're going to make it super easy, because when you are playing this game, success is a game. When you are playing this game with yourself, you get to choose all the rules. Now, sometimes when we don't get to choose the rules, for example, if you pay taxes, we don't get to choose all those rules, right? We have to follow them, but we don't get to write them. We don't get to play them. We just have to play by them, right? The point is, this is a game you get to choose the rules. What will you do to make today great? Notice it doesn't say, what will I do? What will I hope to have happen to me today so that I can feel horrible? That is not the question. We are saying to ourselves, if I can do these 3 things, it just is so powerful, because you're finally defining what it is that you're actually going to do. That's one of the biggest success killers. The reason you haven't written all the offers you want to write is because you've never said today is the day that it's going to get done. You've never believed yourself when those words have come out of your mouth. Ever. And it's unfortunate. But hey, tomorrow's a new day, so you have a shot. What will you do to make today great? And you can think of those 3 things. Now, some of the things that I have put on there, just to make success easy, right? I will put on there, hug my wife. I will do that. Why? Because it makes it easy for me to do that. Plus, I need to maintain work-life balance. I can forget something as simple as, hey, go hug my wife. You know you've done it too. But if you put that on that list, it suddenly becomes something that you're on. You are like, you know what? This is important to me today. I got to make sure I do this. You have time to think. And when you are thinking strategically through your work-life balance, this is a great time to put those things there. What are some of the things that you know that you need to do? Like if I told you in the next 12 hours, you could make today great. What are some of those things that you know you should do right now that would make even the time you have left in today great? And again, it doesn't have to be solely business related. For some of you, it could be, you know what, I need to make 3 more phone calls. That's great. You probably should. Maybe it's send 1 more email. But give me one thing that you know you should be doing, maybe haven't done, or you did today that made today great. Just give me one idea, one something, either, whether it was, hey, I love hugs. Someone says I love hugs, and I appreciate that. That's good. You should love hugs. This is great. The point is, you can make success easy. Go outside. That's easy. Go outside. Make sure you take a walk. Many of us, we live in a very beautiful place, right? And sometimes we don't appreciate the beauty. And some of you live in places where it snows and you like it. Okay, awesome. Did you go out and play in the snow today? What will you do to make today great? And here's another example of something that I've done that has worked out very, very well, especially with my kids. You did content for your website. Excellent. Now that's what I'm talking about, Brian. Did content for your website. That's great. Smile. Now you're getting it. Smile. One of the things that I like to do is I will define how much time I will invest with my children, and I've got 4 of them, but how much time I will invest with my children without, a cell phone or iPad or computer around, and just hang out with them in a particular day. That is something that almost always is 100% fail proof to make me feel better and change my state, their state, all the time. And problems suddenly just seem easier when you're hanging out with a 5-year-old, right? Whatever it is you thought was difficult is suddenly no more. Isn't that ridiculous? It just, whatever it is that we come up with. So, those are the things. So what it comes down to is you get to define, what will I do to make today great? You get to choose. All right. So we're still on the first thing. That's part B. So here's part C. This one is also important. Daily affirmations. I am. It's really important of what you consider or call yourself. I am. And there are some days where I am is followed by a long sentence. And there are some days where I am is just a word. I am resilient. That's one of my favorite ones. I am resilient, especially if you live the life of an entrepreneur. You know that your day can start up. It starts going up and then it goes down, it goes up and it goes down and it goes way up and then it can go way down. I am resilient. And being resilient is one of those characteristics that is going to take in order for you to become excellent. Give yourself time to become excellent through all of the skill sets, because you will fail fast. You should fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently. That should be no big deal to you. Failure is what the entrepreneur eats, sleeps, it hugs and enjoys and learns to enjoy, I should say. It learns to welcome, because that's where the information is on where we need to change. So daily affirmations totally helps. Only needs one of those. So let's review really fast. The first thing, when you wake up, 3 to 5, I am grateful for. Okay. And you're going to have 3 to 5 things. The second one is, what will I do to make today great? 3 things there. And then the third one is daily affirmations. I am. Just one. It doesn't even have to be too many. But because you have set in some, you might think of this as setting an intention, being clear about what it is that you want to actually have happen. All of those things are very, very true. And I'm excited for you, because on the days you do this, you will get more done. Even if when you say what I will make today great has nothing to do with business. I'm telling you, when you think through some of my most productive days, when I say what will make today great, it could be simply play with the kids, hug the wife, go for a walk. If I remember those 3 things, for some reason, still the rest of my world is right. It doesn't necessarily have to just be performance related to your job or occupation, but it will begin to shift you in the direction that you actually want to live. You'll begin living closer to your values, i.e., able to actually achieve the things that you say you want. So that's the first thing you need to do. If that's something you think you can do, if that's something you think you can do me a favor, just type in the chat right now, I can do this. I can do this. If you think that's something you absolutely have the physical ability to do, just type, I can do this. Exactly. I can do this. That's exactly what I thought. You can do this. Now, this second one is just as simple, just as easy, and you tend to do it towards the end of the day. All right? What does that mean? So it becomes a review, if you will. It becomes like a review. So it's the first thing, again, you're going to just ask yourself, again, same style, same types of questions. That being 3 amazing things that happened today. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the 3 things that you said or that you were going to do to make today great, but what 3 amazing things happened today? This is really good because oftentimes we can get beat up by the day, and the thing that beat us up in the middle is the thing that we're focused on, and we totally trashed, discounted, totally forgot about the fact that I did accomplish something today. So for most of you real estate entrepreneurs out there, what happens is you go out there, you get a no from a seller. Someone, you're trying to raise capital, they tell you no. You try to buy the building, they tell you whatever. And you totally just forgot about the fact that that was your first offer. You actually wrote it. You got the nerve to write a $1 million offer. You actually did it. You put the resources together. You already had the team in place. You did some research to know that this was a good deal and that was a great property. Do you get what I'm saying? What 3 amazing things happened today? So, and sometimes it can be silly stuff. Now, I'm going to share something that it's silly. It's going to be silly to most of you, but it's important to me. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, very simply, I tend to go to Starbucks rather frequently. My drink of choice is the salted caramel mocha, venti, with whipped cream. Now, for those of you who know Starbucks and their menu, you also know that they do not do the salted caramel mocha during certain times of the year. It's a seasonal drink. Okay, what does that mean? That means the salt on the salted caramel mocha is only available during certain parts of the year, which can be frustrating. So one of the times when it came down to writing what 3 amazing things happened today, is that I walk into one of my regular Starbucks and the store manager says, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." I'm like, "What?" "I got some salt for you at the end of the counter." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I am not kidding. I still have them. They're right here. I have 3 bottles of the Starbucks salt for the salted caramel mocha. And I'm totally fired up about it still because that was amazing, because I love that particular drink. I know it's kind of crazy, right? But that was one of the amazing things that happened that day. I totally was not expecting it. Here's my point though. Because I know I'm going to be asking myself this question. This is by far one of the best questions right here. Because I know I'm going to be answering this question later, guess what I'm thinking about during the day? Guess what I'm looking for? My mind is looking for 3 amazing things every day. Why? Because I got to have something to fill this in later. Period. Which means instead of looking for something that stinks and doesn't go well and, oh man, I knew that wasn't going to happen, I'm looking for the things that are amazing. Does that begin to make sense? Do you see how putting all these things together changes your mental state throughout the entirety of the day? It changes your mental state throughout the entirety of the day. And that's why it becomes very, very important. So the end of part number 2, what you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself one more question. How could I have made today even better? How could I have made today even better? Well, that's a great question. How could you have made today better? What could you have done? Here's a simple one that most of you can do. Okay? Here's a simple one that most of you can do. Right now, depending on the time zone you're in, here's what I want you to do. When we're done talking today, here's how you can make today even better. Call your mother. Don't text her. Don't email. Pick up the phone and call her. Because it's been a while. Admit it. It's been a while since you've talk to her, okay? Or if maybe not your mom, maybe your dad. Or if not your dad, then your brother. If not your brother, then your sister. If not your sister, then your cousin. And if not a cousin, then pick up that phone and call a friend. Call somebody that you know you haven't actually physically talked to. Yeah, you check their Facebook status, but that's not what I'm talking about. Okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying pick up the phone and actually call them, because that's a simple thing that we can often do to make today better. Or every day better. Now, here's my point with all of this. When you are feeling positive, when you are feeling grateful, when you are feeling like, when you are on the lookout for what 3 amazing things are going to happen today,
When that's on your mind, you will take the actions towards the things that currently cause you apprehension and fear. Maybe it's scary right now, the idea of starting your own business. Maybe it's scary to write that first offer. Maybe it's scary to ask somebody, hey, I want to use your $100,000 in this particular deal. Maybe it's scary to approach a seller and have them be counting on you to actually buy their property or sell a property or whatever. All of those things can bring up feelings of apprehension and fear. But you now have a tool that works very, very well to combat it every day. Maybe some of you're just scared to leave that job that you have right now. And that's why you get the Mondays every Sunday, right? You start that pit in the bottom of your stomach and you're like, man, I do not want to sit in traffic, get up, deal with the boss, hey, only have an hour lunch, whatever it is. And you've not done anything about it because it gets a little challenging for you. And I totally understand. I just want you to know that I understand. I mean, many of you know, when my wife and I first started, it wasn't roses. I mean, she was unable to eat or drink. I was unable to walk or talk. We had a credit score of 398. We couldn't put $75 together. There was nothing that says we should have hundreds of units across the United States. There's nothing that says that we should be able to help other people build their portfolios. There was nothing in that story that says that this is what we would get the privilege of helping other people do. But that is what we get the privilege of helping other people do today. And it started with simple state changers done consistently. It's not a magic pill. This is not going to be a weekend fix. But if you begin now, right now, don't wait till the morning, right now, answering the questions and doing what we just talked about, you'll begin to change your state for today and the future. So, as a review on the way out, remember, first question you're going to ask yourself is, I am grateful for. You're going to ask yourself, I am grateful for, and you're going to come up with, again, 5 things that you are grateful for. I say 3 to 5, but the more the better. Really, the more the better. What you are grateful for. This is that day. It's really, really good. Then we're going to go to, what will I do today? What will I do to make today great? I don't know what you're going to do, but you get to decide that. You get to define that. And with that definition, you can go out there and become powerful. Then you're going to have a daily affirmation, right? I am. Whatever you think, positive word, I am resilient. I am powerful. I am capable. I am going to write that offer today, no matter what. I am. Okay. That's what you're going to do in the morning. Then throughout the day, you're going to go out, do your thing, right? Go do your thing. But you know that later today, later at the end, you're going to be answering this question. You're going to be answering 3 amazing things that happened today. 3 amazing things, not 1, 3. You've got to come up with 3 amazing things that happened today. And be on the lookout for these because they're there. Okay, maybe one of the amazing things is that your kids, their siblings, maybe they got along. That was an amazing thing. Maybe the seller actually said yes. That was an amazing thing today. The deal closed, escrow is closed, the tenant moved in, you broke ground on your new development project. Whatever one of those things, it's there if we look for it. All of us have them. They're there. And then the last thing is, how could I have made today even better? How could I have made today even better? Those 2 things, once in the morning, once in the afternoon or evening, will begin to shift you. And again, as I said at the beginning, you cannot out-earn your personal growth. My name is Jay Massey, CEO of Cashflow Diary. It's been fun talking to you guys today, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.